Where are you right now? Who knows? Don't mess with me. There's nothing of ours left in the house. What's going on? Well, I took all my stuff and left. Huh? I don't get it. Why would you do that? Well, we got divorced, so it's normal that I'd leave, right? Divorced? Yeah, I filed the divorce papers. My name is Claire, and I'm 35. I was just kidding about being a high school student. I'm actually an office worker. I've been married to my husband, Evan, for 5 years. Evan used to work for a company, but he quit 2 years ago to start his own business. Unfortunately, it hasn't gone well, and for the last 2 years, we've been losing money. Luckily, my income is good, so we're getting by. Our marriage is pretty average, nothing too bad. But the real problem is Evan's mom and sister, who live in his family's house. Whenever I see them, they make fun of me and complain about everything. It makes me really sad and stressed out. We live about 10 minutes away from them, and my husband often takes me there. At first, I went along with it for his sake, but recently, their bullying has gotten worse, so I've started standing up for myself. Still, they don't stop. In fact, they always try to get money from me. Hey Claire, I have a friend's birthday coming up. Can you give me $500 to buy a present? $500? What are you buying? I'm giving them a trip, and I'm going too. No way, that's ridiculous. I can't afford that. You're so stingy, Claire. Seriously, you're like a miser, even though Evan supports you. Excuse me? I'm the one supporting him. Evan hasn't contributed anything to our bills in over a year, and you should get a job. You're an adult. I really wanted to say all of that, but my husband interrupted. Claire, just give her the $500. Then my mother-in-law chimed in, praising Evan. You're such a good son. Next, my sister-in-law asked, can I also have $300 for something I want? My husband turned to me and said, that's fine, Claire. You have $300 in your wallet, right? Hand it over. Feeling pressured, I had to give her the money, even though it made me angry. On the way home, I couldn't hold back and asked Evan, why are you acting like this? Evan started saying things like, I have my pride as the eldest son, which only made our argument worse. Once you give them money, they get demanding. What's wrong with making my mom happy, he said. I replied, we can't afford to live luxuriously and you're not helping with any of our expenses. So what? We got a big bonus this summer. As for savings, I reminded him. Since then, Evan and I have been arguing a lot. I couldn't understand how he could act so arrogant while not contributing to our finances. He seemed to hate the idea of not being in charge. His bad behavior became more obvious over time. I realized I didn't need to put up with someone like him. So when he recently said, we're going to my mom's, I told him to go by himself. Evan was upset and said, it's normal for the wife to come too. I shot back, then you're abnormal because you don't come when I visit my parents. He clicked his tongue and said, do whatever you want, then went to his parents' house alone. Having a weekend free from his mom and sister felt great. I spent the time working on my dream of buying my own home. I gathered information online, ordered pamphlets, and imagined how I'd decorate it. The idea of my future house excited me, and I lost track of time. That evening, Evan came back home. Oh, welcome back, I said, but he seemed upset, which I found petty. I didn't feel like trying to make him happy, so I just started cooking dinner. Suddenly, Evan spoke up. You've been pretty bold lately, huh? Refusing to see my mom and the others. I said, we're equals as a couple, and your mom and sister always pick on me. That's why I don't want to go anymore. That's what I mean by cheeky. Wives are supposed to listen to their husbands. If you can't do that, it's divorce. Divorce? He grinned. You don't want that, do you? But I'm seriously mad. I've already signed my part of the papers, so it's ready to go. I'll let it slide this time, but if you disobey me again, we're done. Think about that. After that, he ordered me to hurry up and make dinner and went to take a bath. Once he was in the bath, I felt a wave of happiness. I thought, yes, now I can break up with him anytime. I cooked dinner in a great mood, and from that moment on, I focused on saving money for my dream house. Eventually, I saved enough for a down payment. It was hard to hide my excitement in front of Evan, but I managed to stay calm. Finally, I bought the house under my own name. The only thing left was to get divorced and leave the place I shared with Evan. I started secretly packing my things and sending them to my parents' house. They knew everything and understood my situation. The new house is everything I dreamed of, both inside and out. As I sat there, enjoying the fresh smell of my new place, I felt a huge sense of relief and happiness. All day, my husband kept calling me. That night, I finally answered. "Hey, where are you?" he asked. "Well, where do you think I am?" I said. "Stop playing around. There's nothing left in the house. What's going on?" "Well, I took all my things and left." "What? I don't understand. Why would you do that?" "Well, since we're divorced, it's not strange for me to move out, right?" "Huh? Divorced?" I submitted the divorce papers. We're strangers now. Don't mess with me. I don't accept that. But you're the one who said we could divorce anytime. As a businessman, you should take responsibility for your words. Anyway, this is the end for us. Then I hung up the phone. Finally, I was free from him. That night, I slept peacefully. Living in my new house was so comfortable, and every morning I woke up feeling refreshed. Today, I invited my parents over to my new home for the first time. While I was cooking, they arrived with a bottle of celebratory sake. They were both surprised at how nice my new place was, and we toasted to celebrate. Even though it was early, we started a little party. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Huh? Who could that be at this time? I checked the intercom, and there they were, my ex-husband, his mom, and his sister. "Why are you here?" I asked. "From today, my parents and I are moving in. My dad is in the hospital, but when he's discharged, he'll live here too." "Open the door right now," my ex-husband said. "No way, that's ridiculous. Why would I have to do that? Please leave my property immediately." Then my ex-mother-in-law stepped forward. "You cheeky girl. What's yours is mine. If you understand, open the door." What are you talking about? I'm single now, you know." "Huh," she said, shocked. "Did your son not tell you? We've already filed for divorce. We're strangers now." My ex-mother-in-law and ex-sister-in-law turned to look at my ex-husband. He seemed to be explaining something to them, but I couldn't hear exactly what he was saying through the intercom. He was probably telling them something like, "I don't accept this." I said, "You can't enter this house. Please leave," and hung up the intercom. Then my ex-husband started shouting through the door, "Open the door. I want to talk." As I was thinking about how to get rid of him, a police car pulled up in front of my house. The police took my ex-husband into custody. When I opened the door, I saw him on the ground, resisting the police, shouting, "It hurts. Why is this happening to me?" My ex-mother-in-law and ex-sister-in-law were in shock, realizing that their son was divorced. They just stood there stunned. Though they weren't arrested, the police escorted them away in the same car. After they were taken away, I went back inside the house, wondering who had called the cops. Then my dad made a peace sign. "In situations like this, you call the police right away," he said. "Trust my always calm dad." We continued our party with another round of drinks. As for how my ex-husband found out where I live, it turned out he had followed me home from work. He even confessed to stalking me. If he shows up again, he'll be arrested immediately. With his timid personality, I doubt he'll come near the house again. I also got a restraining order against him and his family. After that, my ex-husband's business didn't do well, and he kept piling up debt. With the divorce, the money he and his family had been taking from me was gone. And with his father in the hospital, they had no income, so they had to sell their house. It feels like they got what they deserved. On the other hand, I invited my parents to live with me in my new home. They're really happy, saying I've been a great daughter, and they're enjoying life in the new place. I want to continue to cherish them and live happily together as a close-knit family.